Welcome to the Titan Tar channel. Today we have a topic to discuss about Russia preparing major retaliation in Ukraine after the invasion of Kursk. Don't miss the chance to join us and share your opinions with us. Become a member of our channel and evolve your rank. The British press, citing a high-ranking Ukrainian source who declined to be named, reports that Kiev is concerned about possible significant retaliation from Russia due to the situation in the Kursk region. To recall, on the morning of August 6th, Ukrainian forces, including dozens of foreign mercenaries, carried out an incursion into the territory of the Russian Federation using armored vehicles supplied by NATO. According to the Ukrainian official, there are concerns that the Russian response could be massive, involving missile strikes targeting important targets such as the parliament and other government buildings. The source also mentioned the possibility of Russia launching a massive number of missiles of different types, including ballistic missiles, as well as using kamikaze drones. There are concerns that Ukraine's air defense system may not be able to intercept all such attacks. It is clear that, before the Ukrainian incursion into the Kursk region, Zelensky's government was aware that Moscow could react forcefully. Even so, Ukrainian forces advanced, hoping to capture strategic locations and cities in the Russian region, and then begin negotiations. Now, they await the Russian reaction and begin to discuss in the Western media about what could happen. Meanwhile, the Russian military command continues to reinforce its positions in the Kursk region, sending more troops and equipment. The acting governor of the region confirmed that the transfers are continuing, and local authorities are taking all necessary measures to stabilize the situation and ensure the safety of civilians. Ukrainian sources indicate that despite the deployment of reinforcements to Kursk, Russian forces have not withdrawn troops from the main fronts. However, Kiev seemed to have counted on this possibility when planning the operation with the support of NATO generals. The situation in the region remains tense, but efforts are ongoing to keep it under control. Earlier reports suggest that despite the apparent stabilization in the Kursk region, fighting has not yet ceased. Clashes are expected to continue for several days before Russian forces begin to push back the Ukrainian invaders. If Kiev sends in more troops, the fighting could drag on. The Kursk region invasion plan, which was developed by Ukraine in direct collaboration with NATO, was unsuccessful, according to a Russian Special Forces commander. He said that after Russian reinforcements were sent to the region, there was a period of adapting to the terrain and organizing communications, but that Russian forces were now advancing more effectively. In the Sudzansky district, the Ukrainian armed forces lost 14 units of military equipment, including tanks and armored vehicles. The defense of this area is under the responsibility of the 810th Marine Brigade, the 1st Assault Squadron, and a Special Forces Group. The commander also stressed that Kiev has not sent ordinary mobilized troops, but rather elite, well-equipped units armed with American weapons and supported by foreign mercenaries. These units are fighting in the Kursk areas, where they are suffering significant losses and are unable to advance. According to the commander, the plan developed in the West has failed, and although there are still challenges, he believes that with continued efforts, Russian forces will achieve their goals. The Russian group of troops called North, together with reserves sent to the region, continues to repel attempts by Ukrainian troops to break through to Kursk, the Russian Defense Ministry reported. The main objective of the Ukrainian offensive in the Kursk region, according to a French news agency, is to divert Russian reserves from the most strategic fronts and destabilize the country. A French publication interviewed a senior Ukrainian security official who revealed details about Kiev's recent military operation in the Kursk region. According to him, the initiative aims to achieve several goals, the main ones being to destabilize Russia and redeploy Russian reserves from the front lines in Donbass. The main focus, however, is to provoke instability. Ukrainian authorities hope that the Russian population will turn against the government due to the perception that the state is unable to guarantee internal security. We are on an offensive. Our goal is to expand the enemy's weaknesses, inflict as many casualties as possible and destabilize Russia, showing its inability to protect its own borders, the official told the publication. He also noted that the incursion of Ukrainian forces into Russian territory has created a sense of inspiration and confidence throughout Ukraine, both among military personnel and civilians. According to the Kiev representative, this operation demonstrated the ability of the Ukrainian armed forces to attack and advance. However, he stressed that Ukraine has no plans to annex Russian territory. Still, The official admitted that so far none of Kiev's goals have been fully achieved, whether in terms of withdrawing Russian troops or inciting discontent among Russians. Despite initial expectations, Ukrainian authorities are refraining from commenting on the possible consequences of this offensive. At the same time, the Russian military command is transferring significant reinforcements to the Kursk region, mobilizing the equivalent of 7 army brigades, according to information transmitted to Kiev by British intelligence. According to reports, these brigades are tasked with neutralizing Ukrainian actions in the region and creating a security zone in the neighboring Sumy region of Ukraine. Despite the mobilization, Russian forces are maintaining their reserves on the main fronts. Information from Ukrainian sources indicates that the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine has allocated a total of 4 brigades for the Kursk operation, including reserves that have not yet entered combat. Some of these reserves are stationed in the Sumy region, while other units are still being organized and should be ready in about 5 weeks. British intelligence suggests that Russia intends to use its forces not only to drive Ukrainian troops out of Kursk, but also to create a corridor in the Sumy region. While Kiev could attempt to mobilize a similar contingent, this would deplete its strategic reserves. MI6 has provided new reports to the Office of the President of Ukraine and the General Staff, detailing the transfer of 7 Russian brigades to Kursk with the aim of driving out Ukrainian forces and establishing a corridor to Sumy. It was previously reported that the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Ukraine approved this operation at the suggestion of President Zelensky, although publicly it is presented as an independent military initiative. In parallel, Kiev is seeking authorization to use American-made tactical missiles in strikes against the Kursk region. Ukrainian officials are in talks with Washington officials, according to an American newspaper. Ukraine believes that the use of these missiles, especially against Russian airfields, could significantly weaken Russian forces and keep parts of the region under Ukrainian control. This, according to a Ukrainian official, would give Ukraine a strategic advantage in negotiations with Russia. However, he stresses that this would be difficult to achieve without the support of missiles supplied by the United States. Kiev expects the United States to give in, as it did in the Belgorod region, where it authorized the use of missiles against Russian forces concentrated near the border with Kharkov. Now, the American military is closely monitoring the Ukrainian operation to assess its objectives and decide whether to give the green light for the use of missiles in the Kursk region, the publication concluded. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like the video, and share with your friends. Your interactions mean a lot to us and help us grow. Until next time.